So I have what I hope is a good idea, but you'll have to let me know. Welcome to Grow Preserve. I'm Carter. I'm so glad you're here today. Let's get started. So here's what I was thinking. I get a lot of questions when I can something that doesn't necessarily have one obvious purpose, like the street tacos or whatever. Particularly the last bunch of questions were on the chutneys and what's a chutney, how do you use a chutney, what do I do with it, why do I need it, that kind of stuff. So I thought it would be kind of fun to do a series of videos, not necessarily all in a row, but we'll get a couple of them in right now while we're waiting for the harvest to come in. We've got a whole bunch of stuff canned, working on emptying some jars to preserve the harvest. I thought we'd do kind of a cooking from the pantry series. Not so much like the pantry challenge from back in January, February, where there was no grocery store, but how I, on a day-to-day basis, integrate my canned foods into my meals, snacks, desserts, whatever. So I hope it's going to be fun for you, but you give me some feedback and let me know. The thought here is not that I'm giving you recipes that you want to go follow, because everybody's tastes are going to be a little different. You can certainly do anything, and things that require a recipe, like any baking, I do. I'm going to do a little bit of baking this morning for you. But those things I will put down below as a recipe. But for the most part, it's really just here for inspiration. And so maybe you don't have something in your pantry and you didn't think you would use something in your pantry because it was just being looked at as a single item that gets used as a whatever. This is apricot date chutney that we just did recently, and I got a ton of questions on this one. So I kind of wanted to do a little outside the box kind of stuff with not all of it will be outside the box because my creativity has a limit. But the good news is that we eat differently than you may eat, than somebody else may eat, than somebody you watch on YouTube may eat. So at least it's a bunch of different ideas, because you're all far more creative than I am within the framework of how you want to eat. So my inspiration comes from all over. Sometimes it just like poof out of thin air, right? Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But the ones that work, and this one does that I'm about to show you, the ones that work I want to share with you. You may not want to do exactly the same thing, but maybe it inspires you to do something else. And that's the goal here. We don't want to eat the same darn thing day after day. So here I go. I'm going to try to give you a little bit of inspiration. And if you have ideas on anything that I've made in this video or any of the other videos, or anything that I've canned and how you would use it, please share it. And let's get more of this going so we can all be a little more creative and efficient and effective with our canning, how we stock our pantry, and then how we use what we stock, because we don't want to make it just to sit there in the pantry and then oh gosh, apricot date chutney, that sounds so good, but I have no idea how to use it. Or I have a lot of people who say, I don't like chutneys, or I don't know what a chutney is, or it sounds weird, and you're going to mix some sweet something with meat in some cases, and people are like, no, but I promise we can come up with some really good creations. So let's get started on this one. I'm going to bring you down, and I'm really going to focus on the cooking rather than me babbling on, although it probably doesn't seem like that at the moment. I'll bring you down. I made some muffins with that jar of chutney I was bouncing around. I'll show you that recipe in the next video. But while those are in the oven, I thought I'd make some breakfast. So I'm going to start off with something very simple, just some scrambled eggs, using some home canned ham and some Yukon Gold potatoes. I have a couple veggies in the fridge I need to use up, so I'm going to throw in some diced peppers, garlic escaped from the oven, perhaps some onion, throw those into the eggs, and then chop some cilantro to top everything with a bit of green. So as you can see, these are dry canned Yukon Gold potatoes from 2020. I had a case or so of those. It was misplaced when we moved from Atlanta, and I've been working my way through them since I found them again. However, I've been so obsessed lately with the canned hash browns and fries that I haven't had these in a while. I'm just going to quarter them, spritz with some oil and salt, and toss them in the air fryer for about 10 minutes while I cook the eggs. 9 times out of 10, if you open my fridge, you'll find an open jar of canned meat that I'm using for breakfast that week. This is canned ham, but it could just as easily be beef, pork, or sausage. I like it crisped up and mixed in with the eggs or potatoes. So I'm just going to do a simple scramble today, and you'll see as soon as these vegetables cook down that it's just
2 seconds once you put the eggs in. And there you go. Not a bad little breakfast for less than 15 minutes. Now let's move on to something a little more creative. This was inspired by a recipe I found for something called Moroccan beef and apple stew. That one used prunes and apples, and it took 2 hours to cook. Mine is going to use the apricot date chutney we made the other day. And although I've sped up this clip for you quite a bit, the original clip was just over 14 minutes, start to finish. That's something I can do just on a regular Tuesday without worrying too much about my timing. So while the rice is cooking off camera, I'm going to start to saute the onions. I'm going to add some seasonings to the pan with the onions. So we'll do some salt and pepper. Then I have a Moroccan spice blend that I copied from a commercial brand. Put a little cayenne pepper in there. Once those have sauteed down, I'm going to add the home canned raw packed beef. I'm going to separate it just a bit, but not completely shred it. Next is the home canned tomato sauce that includes onions and garlic. And finally, I'm going to add the chutney. I started with about half a jar, but I pretty quickly decided that I wanted the whole jar in there. Then all I have to do is adjust the seasonings a bit, and it's done. I serve it with plain white rice, and I'm going to show you the taste test on this one.
Moroccan beef stew from the pantry. So I used canned stew meat and canned tomato sauce, home canned tomato sauce, home canned chutney, and I think that's it. Those spices and seasonings, you saw that as I cooked it. But let's taste this. This is a new one for us. It's going to be savory, a little bit of heat, a little bit of sweet.
Okay.
All right.
Give her a shot.
It's going to be hot.
Very good.
You like it?
Yeah. What kind of rice is that? Regular rice?
Jasmine, yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
I like that. Moroccan beef stew.
Really good. Really good.
With a little bit of cilantro on top. That's a really good use for that chutney, the apricot date chutney. And the beef, I kind of did a knockoff on a recipe that said it took 2 hours to cook. And so you were with me the whole time. So it was, I don't know, 12, 15 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know, not bad, right?
No, that's great.
Not bad. So, all right, this is great. We're gonna go eat.
I could eat this a lot.
You could?
Yeah, I like it.
Ooh, hey, I'm not sure I was necessarily expecting that, but I'm thrilled.
Yeah, it's really good.
Okay. All right, great. Thank you for being here. All right, we're gonna make David's current favorite dessert tonight, pecan pie. See, I have these little 8-ounce jars of pecan pie filling. So, am I really going outside the box on this one? No, it's pecan pie filling, and I'm gonna kind of make a little pecan pie tart. I'm making it in a dish. We won't do a crust tonight. It is so easy. It literally takes, I don't know, less than 5 minutes to put it together. And then it's in the oven for about 30 minutes. But I also wanted to show you that the same method I'm going to use today can work with a chutney as well. So this is the apricot date chutney that, I don't know, you saw that video 2 weeks ago, something like that. And I turned it in last night into a little dessert. So I used the exact same method I'm going to use today on the pecan pie. And I want to show you, this has been sitting in the refrigerator overnight, but this is the beautiful consistency inside. So it's almost like a cake without being a cake. Did that make any sense at all? There's no flour in here at all. In fact, there's no almost flour in here either. No almond flour, no coconut flour, none of that. It is simply the jar of chutney and eggs and whatever butter you use. For me, it is butter flavored coconut oil, but it could be regular butter, it could be ghee, it could be regular coconut oil, it could be some other light cooking oil, that'd be fine. This is so good. It tastes like fruit. Literally, it's like a fruit. I don't know, it's not a custard. I don't know what it is, but man, it's delicious. It's the apricots, the dates, the raisins. It's beautiful. But if you didn't make the chutney the other day, you're gonna want to go make that chutney, I promise. We're gonna make the pecan pie version today. So that video is also on the website, and I will post it. I think it goes there. So I will link it up above. Let's get started on this one. Oh, I may have to stop and eat my dessert first. Hang on. Okay, let's put the pecan pie together. This is the easiest method ever. If you blink, you're gonna miss it. I'm gonna do it all in this measuring cup. I have the jar of pecan pie filling. I just loosened it up in the microwave for about 30 seconds because if you saw that video, you know what a struggle it is to get out of the jar otherwise. So this is gonna make it very easy. And I have 2 to 3 tablespoons of melted butter, or in my case, it's butter flavored coconut oil, but it could be butter or ghee, whatever it is that you use. Here we go. Let's stir in this real quickly. Make sure I don't cook those eggs. Didn't want it to be so hot that it cooked the eggs. Alright, so mix that up. Put the butter in. Mix that up. That's it. Literally, that was it. Let's get it in here. Let's see if I can do this so you can watch. It will puff up a little bit, so you don't want to go all the way to the top. These are, I think these are 3-ounce ramekins. And they go in the oven, the dishwasher, the microwave, whatever you need. Alright, so that's how we look going into the oven, and they'll be in the oven for 25 to 30 minutes. You just want to check on them, and they'll have a somewhat firm set, but not hard set. So we'll be back when they're done. Alright, it's a big taste test on the pecan pie filling. Now this one really isn't quite fair, because you know I've made this a dozen times, and we also know that it's David's favorite. But I made it, it was here, and he just can't resist doing a taste test.
How many can I have, honey?
Only one for starters.
Oh, it's so good.
It is good, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you can see the insides of that.
We could eat 30 of these.
It's delicious.
It is really good.
Some pecan pies can be really heavy, at least the ones I grew up with. This is light and fluffy And really, really good,
Oh,
right?
it's really good.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't feel heavy either.
No, not at all.
That's why I could eat 30 of them.
Then you'll be happy.
I will be happy. I'll be happy,
Happy and heavy.
but you won't get me in the screen anymore. I'll be too big.
I don't know if you can see the inside of this, but it's delicious. If you haven't tried this one, go back and watch that video. It is well worth doing, and make that in the small jars unless you have a larger size family, because for 2 of us, it made 4.
It really
These
is a
are
good
ramekins.
serving size.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
So after you're done eating, you get this, you're pretty happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I make 4 of them. That way we can have 2 for leftovers, or if we have another couple over for dinner or something, it's just the perfect
Yeah,
ending.
they're really good.
Okay.
I would do this at every party
Great party. Okay.
with chocolate chip cookies.
Oh. All right. Thanks so much for being here. Enjoyed seeing you. Hit the like button, subscribe, or tell all your friends. I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.